All right, everyone. This has been a productive chess streaming session for me. So I'm going to make one last video and then call it a evening. Yes. Early bishop g4. So move order is with knight c3, but he hasn't played that. Could even play e6, but yeah. This is an interesting setup, a very interesting opening from White. I mean, it's the same old opening as any other, but he delayed knight c3, and that made a big difference to the whole dynamics with the pawn trade here. So very interesting, and yeah, it's a strong opponent from Indonesia, Wangya. Wangya. Uh, Natural move like this coming in. Delaying, we're just trying to get him to move his bishop once, then we'll capture here and push this up. Right? Yeah. Just a micro tempo gain there, by delaying. That's what half of the opening is all about, that, especially in these Queen's Gambit decline situations. White is always just trying to wait for black to capture there so he can develop his bishop in one fell swoop rather than move the same piece twice. Now the bad side about our position here is that we don't have a central pawn of authority. White is the only player with the central pawn of authority. Of course, it is also a isolated queen's pawn, which makes this knight a big target for me. And I'm exploiting that target with the spin here, because any weakening of it means a weakening of this, and I'm afraid that's pretty significant. So I have to be careful to take it with the queen, because there's two pieces angering down here. And now we don't want him to keep developing his rooks with tempo. This is pretty okay because he can't go there. We'll be mate. This knight doesn't have anywhere to develop just yet. So let's keep him steady for now. Should we go into the queen's traded off the board position? I think it's not quite right to do it here, because there's too much pressure on this f7 square. There is definitely an argument to be made for taking knight in this position. This knight could come in here. It would be pretty annoying. And now we have already kind of patched the square up with our queen. So can chill out a little bit. Maybe trade off one set of rooks. That was a minor concession in my play there. A minor, slightly eager move. But just want to keep the game simple. Want to remain in control of the square. The square is critical. Gonna have to get our knight in here. He could try moves like this. Yeah, now the rook here, and then force the queen down here, and then heighten down there. So we have a thinking opponent. Congratulations, genius. Yeah, and he's clever in the sense that he's gonna keep the game going. He's not gonna just allow me to make some easy trades. He's gonna keep it complicated and a little double-edged. Our opponents are fierce and resourceful, and so are we. Our opponents are always looking for ways to kill us and destroy us, and so are we. Love George Bush. Okay, let's just freaking pop in here. You can't. How dare you go off the back rank? How dare you? How dare you? And we also got to keep in mind this Night Fork idea here. Okay. Can still execute on it, actually. Oh no, we can't. We get mated here. That's what I mean. This guy is clever. Just gonna keep the game solid. Keep the position solid, and you will be rewarded in the long run. Okay, I don't think a trade of queens will harm me enough here. I think simplification matters more than a minor disruption in the pawn structure. Just coming with a bit of a threat for the queen check. I don't see the follow-up. Queen here was interesting, but it just ends up losing a central pawn. So let's hold it together. Hold it together, guys. We can do this. Just got to be a little patient. Get our king a nice safe square. King safety is very important in a heavy piece endgame, which is where we are. And should invest a move into king safety. And now think about how can we trade off some of these heavy pieces. Not so easy, is it? That's a key move. Key move and okay. So we have maintained the one pawn advantage, and our pieces are ready to come out and play. We're gonna try to hold on to some of these pawns here a little carefully, and then go after this pawn, give up that pawn, use this pawn as a distraction for his king, and then eat up these squares. That's the plan. Okay, he knows the plan, so he's just stopping me on ball one here. We'll come in from the flank on this side. We'll keep the rook in control. We'll keep the rook in control. Check is a bit. I'm not so happy about that check, but I played it anyway, so I gotta live with that. Gotta live with that and see how to do this. Does have one piece running. To get the order right here. Oh shit, that was a brain fart. That was a brain fart. And we're gonna be in a lot of trouble now. Ooh shit. Gotta keep our king on opposite on dark squares. Keep your king on the dark squares and shit. I also lost that rook there. It's unfortunate. At least we can try to hope for a draw. Okay. We should have probably won this on the clock because it doesn't look like our opponent has a very good blitz time scramble. But anyway, all in all, pretty good game, pretty high level game, I suppose. It's tough to hold on to a small advantage, and our opponent did play quite well to make it difficult for us to convert. We also were quite patient in just, not giving up the advantage, just holding things together. So it was a high caliber game, I think. Unfortunately, didn't finish entirely the way we wanted, but still a very good game. In-game matters a lot. I think at this point, the game should have been very much in my favor. But I did something I'm not happy with here. I think I maybe should have just gone rook here. That should be the cleanest move. But I allowed him some other options, and this move in particular was really not good. It allowed his king in there, which is unfortunately leveled the game right there on the spot. And then after that, it's a drawn position, really. So it should be a draw here, but even here I did mess up because I should have just gone here, foregone that pawn, and then essentially played with the same material. It's a complicated endgame. But anyway, good game. Thanks.